11 different types of bromeliad plants. There are more than 2,000 species of bromeliads you can found in this world. Many of them are originated in South America. They can grow into a beautiful plant that has an amazing aroma. Here the video that I would like to share the different types of bromeliads so that everyone learn their differences. AECHMEA. The AECHMEA bromeliad plant is a genus of the botanical family Bromeliaceae, subfamily Bromelioideae, related to the pineapple and Spanish moss. To growers of the AECHMEA bromeliad plant, it is a beautiful addition both indoors and in outdoor gardens. Most of the 150 species part of the genus AECHMEA are epiphytic. Each of them has outstanding foliage. This plant grows best in tropical weather, and you must care to keep it warm and maintain humidity for optimal results. Even without optimal care, this plant is fairly easy to grow. Don't leave it outside in the winter or on cold nights when the temperature drops below 55 degrees Fahrenheit. You can maintain moisture with a plate or container of water nearby and by misting with water. Fertilizer at 1/2–1/3 the normal dose about every 2 to 3 months. A type of AECHMEA bromeliad plant that is popular is a hybrid of the Bulis bromeliad, the Allegria. The bloom is an impressive stalk with bright red and pink berries. This AECHMEA plant can grow as high as 4 feet and have a width of 4 feet also. Ananas. Ananas is like a bitter pineapple plant. It will produce a fruiting spike that has a pinkish color to it. Over a 3-month period of time, a small brown pineapple will develop. It is much more bitter than a commercially cultivated pineapple. Mostly, the pineapple from an ananas bromeliad plant is considered an ornamental fruit. The ananas bromeliad is also known as the ivory pineapple and the variegated pineapple. The bloom will start as flush red and bloom blue flowers before the pineapple develops. The edible pineapple is from the same species as the ananas bromeliad. This bromeliad is grown for its long leaves that have creamy margins and sharp spines. It is among the larger bromeliads, growing up to 3 feet high and 6 feet across. When they are kept in smaller pots, you can control the size of this plant. The plant won't produce a pineapple until it is about 5 or 6 years old. After the pineapple matures, the plant will die, but there should be pups to propagate. To propagate the ananas bromeliad, you can put the offsets in a pot and grow them. They will appear as the parent plant begins to die. The top of the pineapple can be cut off and put in moist soil. It will root and grow. BILLBERGIA. BILLBERGIA is an interesting species of bromeliads. Most of the plants have an upright leaf habit. It has some brilliant blue and red flowers. When they do come into bloom, the bloom will come out of the top. Generally, the bloom only lasts about 7 or 8 days. So you got to catch it while it lasts. There are thousands of different hybrids created by growers all over the world. Some BILLBERGIA can get some size to them, where some may grow to about 2 feet tall. They can be variegated, and they produce pups from the base. Some interesting species happen to have a lot of white blotching on them. The BILLBERGIA tend to have a lot of blotching with a lot of different colors. They prefer to have direct filtered sunlight. They don't tend to do too well if you planted them indoors. CATOPSIS. The CATOPSIS bromeliad plant grows on twigs of trees in the sun. It is thought that this bromeliad plant is actually carnivorous. The tank of the CATOPSIS bromeliad attracts more insects than similar-sized bromeliad plants. It is native to southern Florida. This bromeliad is usually found growing on trees and occasionally on rocks. They grow in dense shade, and on rare occasions, they will grow in filtered light. In 1864 was the first recorded description of the CATOPSIS bromeliad. There are 18 species of CATOPSIS bromeliads. The leaves are soft and spineless, with chalky scarfing on the waxy leaves. The scarfing can be white, gray, or silvery, and the leaves can be green to yellow-green. The CATOPSIS bromeliad plant has white or yellow flowers that will rise above the leaves. The male and female flowers are on separate plants. It is one of the bromeliads that have no registered hybrids. CRYPTANTHUS. CRYPTANTHUS bromeliads are more commonly known as Earth stars due to their shape. They are beautiful and incredibly varied plants that naturally grow in tropical areas. There are over 1,200 types of bromeliads within the CRYPTANTHUS genus, with a great variety of foliage. You can find these types of bromeliads growing within the earth because these are true terrestrial bromeliads. They are unlike the epiphytic types in that you will not find these growing within trees or other vegetation, but instead, you will find they are growing within the rainforest soil. The CRYPTANTHUS bromeliads are available in all sorts of shades, colors, and patterns. They can give you beautiful and tropically delicious displays. Something quite interesting about these bromeliads is that the colors can actually be affected by the amount of lighting it gets. So if the bromeliad is in lighter or darker conditions, that can actually determine the shades and the colors. A fun fact about the CRYPTANTHUS is that when it reaches a mature size, it will set off its bloom, and the blooms will actually come from the center of the plant. Sometimes deep within the plant. If you would like to propagate the baby pup, the rule of thumb is that the pup should be at least a quarter of the mother's size before you propagate it. What you need to do is holding the baby pup and twist it a little bit. You would pull from there, and this would allow the wound area to dry for a couple of days. Once it's done, you can grow the baby pup in a pot. It may take about a month before the pup begins to grow. GUZMANIA. The GUZMANIA plant family is well known for its flamboyant colors, mesmerizing blooms, and exotic personality. These are one of the commercialized plant species of bromeliad flower crops of Europe and are gaining popularity in the rest of the world. Bromeliad plant GUZMANIA has exquisite flowers that are extremely beautiful and have a longer life. These are quite sturdy and adaptive in nature as they can settle themselves in a terrestrial environment, though their habitat mostly being epiphytical. This flexible feature makes them easy to be cultivated and nurtured in nurseries too. Most of the GUZMANIAs enjoy rich, moist soil. Bromeliad plant GUZMANIA has spine-free fleecy and crinkled green leaves, and the foliage is vase-shaped to hold water for nourishment. The size of this plant varies from 10 centimeters to 1 meter in height. Bromeliad plant GUZMANIA grows wholesome in bright fluorescent light. These should be kept first in moderate light and then bright but should be saved from direct sunlight. It is advisable to keep your bromeliad plant under 3 layers of fishnet. Similarly, you should keep the temperature from average to warm year-round. The water cup should be kept filled to 2.5 cms, and the roots must also be moist for adequate nourishment. NEOREGELIA. The NEOREGELIA bromeliad plant is yet another beautiful bromeliad plant that belongs to the Bromelioideae subfamily. What makes the NEOREGELIA bromeliad plant so popular of the wide range of plant sizes, colors, blooms, and leaf textures that the NEOREGELIA is available in? To some, the brilliant colors of the blooms and the leaves remind them of a firework in the sky when looking down on this bromeliad when it is in full color. This bromeliad plant is usually medium-sized with a compound head is set in the middle of the rosette, and the flowers have blue or white petals. The leaves come in an extensive range of colors and also a wide range of sizes. The brightly colored leaves retain their color year-round. Some plants like the NEOREGELIA pascaliana are tiny and only grow to about 12 cm high and 2.5 cm in diameter. The NEOREGELIA bromeliad is often used for hybridizing because of the amazing plants that result from it. They can grow in pots or be grown terrestrially or lower limbs of trees in shaded areas. The NEOREGELIA bromeliad plant is originally from eastern Brazil. It has become trendy in the United States and Europe. There are approximately 50 species of this bromeliad plant with many varieties. NIDULARIUM. NIDULARIUM is also known as little nest bromeliads. It is a genus of the Bromeliaceae family. It is a perennial evergreen plant that can grow in tropics, subtropics, and the Mediterranean climate. This type of bromeliad is originated in Brazil. The most popular type of Nidularium is the blushing bromeliad, which features white flowers surrounded by bright red bracts. This is a tropical plant, and it loves to grow in moisture and humid environment. It usually grows on the branches of trees, on the ground, or even on the rock. They tend to bloom with nice and beautiful flowers. But the size of the flower rosette is usually very small. You can plant them indoors if you want to. Just make sure you place them in the area where they can get enough sunlight. Take note, the Nidularium can die in two ways. Either it gets overwatering or lacks moisture in the leaf. Therefore, you need to have good control of the water for this plant. PORTEA. The PORTEA bromeliad plant grows in the Brazilian coastal regions of Rio de Janeiro. It is a hardy and robust bromeliad with large spines on its leaves. This plant can grow to over 3 feet high when it is in bloom. It likes full sun. The PORTEA bromeliad plant is among the most decorative of the bromeliad plants. The bloom is a beautiful combination of delicate lavender, blue-gray, and coral pink. The leaves are narrow with spines on the edges, and they are yellow-green. The leaves provide a perfect backdrop to the colorful blooms of the PORTEA bromeliad plant. The flower stalk is a rosy red color and may be as high as 4 feet. It is a unique addition to outdoor gardens, where climates permit them to remain outdoors year-round. It also produces bluish-colored berries. The PORTEA bromeliad plant prefers full sunlight. It will also grow in bright light in some climates. This bromeliad will need ample room to grow because it is one of the larger bromeliad plants. The plant can be grown indoors or outdoors. In climates that get too cold in the winter, the plant will need to be brought inside during the colder months. Part of the year, it can spend its days outside and its nights inside. The leaves are not frost tolerant, but they will tolerate some low temperatures. When the plant is spending time inside and outside, it will need to be planted in a planter. It likes warm temperatures and evenly moist soil. You should protect it from sunburn. TILLANDSIA. The air plant TILLANDSIA is the genus name of a plant that is part of the bromeliad family. Tillandsia is an intriguing plant because it can be grown with just air. Since the Tillandsia bromeliad plant doesn't need soil, it can be grown in various locations. This is the perfect plant for the grower with a creative soul. It is also a perfect plant for those with a grower's heart but possesses a brown thumb. The bromeliad plant Tillandsia is a hardy plant that needs little attention. VRIESEA. VRIESEA bromeliad is also known by other names such as flaming sword bromeliad, painted feather bromeliad, or zebra bromeliad. Native to Central and South America, there are approximately 250 known VRIESEA bromeliads and dozens of hybrids. Some VRIESEA bromeliad owners are drawn to the attractive foliage, while others are drawn to the VRIESEA bromeliad plants with brightly colored flat flower spikes. The VRIESEA bromeliad is closely related to the Tillandsia bromeliad. In the wild, bats pollinate the bromeliad. Phenestralis bromeliad. Some of the VRIESEA bromeliads are more known for their foliage than their blooms. Two of them are the VRIESEA hieroglyphics, which has banded leaves that are beautifully colored, and the VRIESEA fenestralis, which has leaves that are long with purplish mottling. Propagation. It does not seed. Propagate by separating the pups from the mother plant and plant them in their own pots. There are some popular varieties, like the sword plant, that grow pups from the flower stalk. This can make propagation more challenging, and it is best to wait for the plant to be more established before removing the pups. If you like this video, please subscribe, like and share. Thanks for watching.